Challenge Cup.
Well, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to a very wet Guildford Park this afternoon for the fourth round of the Silk Challenge Cup. Obviously, Carlisle versus Widnes. Quite a sprinkling of Widnes fans come up down from home there to see this game this afternoon. It's a very wet, muddy pitch. My name's Chris Moore. My commentator today will be Steve Fox, Widnes programme editor. And we'll run through this afternoon's sides for you. Firstly, the Widnes side. The number 1, Gary Broadbent. Number 2, Peter Smith. Number 3, making a welcome return, John Devereux. Number 4 is Darren Wright. 5, Adrian Hadley. Number 6, Carl Hammond. 7 is David Hume. 6, Craig Makin. Number 7, Steve McCurry. Number 8 is Lee Hansen. Number 10 is Lee Hansen. 11, Andy Collier. 12, Imosi Kaloto. And 13 is Paul Hume. Substitutes this afternoon for Widnes are 14, Anthony Singleton, and number 15 is David Ruane. I'll hand you over to Steve Fox for the Carlisle side.
Yes, the Carlisle side, not particularly full of household names, but they line up as follows. Willie Richardson, number 1, Barry Quayle, number 2, Eddie Southwell, number 3, Colin Paxton, number 4, Paul Manning, number 5, Glenn Day, number 6, John Lowe at standoff, Steve Brearley, number 8, Danny Russell 9, Hugh Waddell 10, George Graham 11, Simon Knox 12, Gary Charlton 13. And the substitutes for Carlisle, we don't have those at the moment, I'm afraid.
Well, we'll come back to you later with the subs there for Carlisle. And underway, this afternoon's referee, of course, is Bob Connolly, one of the famous Connolly twins from Wigan. He likes to be called Rob nowadays, but I think we'll stick to Bob. And a scrum down there straight away on the Widnes 10-yard line. Referee Connolly judging that Widnes touched the ball there from the kick-off, and it's going to be a scrum down, Carlisle, head and feed. Just waiting while the ball is found there. No ball boys about. It's a very cold, windswept day here today at Guildford Park. Referee Connolly asking for the ball already. I'm sure that Carlisle will be very keen to press on an early advantage against Widnes here. Widnes not really looking to relish the trip up here to a windy, rain-swept Cumbria. Sorry, Stephen?
I think the thing for Widnes today is that they'll want to come through with the win, obviously, but they won't want to pick up any injuries with the important league battles to come. I think a good, solid performance, a win, but no injuries, that's the main thing.
Very much so, Steve, that's quite right. But it's Carlisle in possession now, just on the Widnes 10-yard line. The ball coming to the right. It's number 12, George Graham. Referee Connolly blows up there. Not quite sure what for. I think it was a forward pass there from number 12, George Graham. Scrum down, Widnes head and feed. Widnes no doubt relishing a chance to get their hands on the ball. It's Widnes scrum half, David Hume with the feed. The ball goes in, comes out. Carl Hammond sporting headgear, which I first saw him playing against Leeds last week. Widnes now trying to move John Devereux, his first touch of the afternoon. He's well policed there by at least 3 Carlisle defenders. Imosi Kaloto. Good one for Kaloto. He took a bit of a knock there a couple of weeks ago, but hopefully he's back to full fitness now. Lee Hansen takes the ball up. Carlisle moving up quite quickly with 1 or 2 players offside there. Dave Hume tries to move the ball through. Andy Collier, a tireless workhorse for Widnes this season. Andy Collier's play approaches now the halfway line. Steve McCurry, of course, is playing for England next Friday against France up at Gateshead. And the kick comes in for Widnes. What do you think about the first few minutes then, Steve?
Well, I think Widnes have done well there to drive up to the halfway line. They're against the wind in the first half, so obviously they're not going to be able to rely on the kicking game. But they did well, they cleared the line there and brought play up to halfway. But a penalty now for offside on the far side, Chris.
Yeah, well, I think, Steve, the important thing this afternoon is that we've really got to maintain our discipline. We can't afford to let Carlisle get into the game early. If we can just snub them out for the first 5 or 10 minutes, then we should be able to take control later on. As it is, we obviously put ourselves under pressure. That touch kick there, just putting a Carlisle tap on the Widnes 25. And it's the Carlisle hooker, Danny Russell. He's going to take the quick tap there to his wingman. Well policed again. Police, don't mention police, says my cameraman, so we won't mention that again. Carlisle driving in, but Hugh Waddell there, he's stood still really. There wasn't much of a forceful run there at all. Can Carlisle put a move on? That's the question. It's number 11, George Graham. George Graham there, he's doing well at Arsenal, but he's now playing for Carlisle today, so there we go. And it's a penalty. Bob Connolly there blows up the penalty. I think it was Dave Hume, was it, Steve?
Looked like Collier to me, but I'm not quite sure.
Craig making, someone else says behind me, so a penalty there anyway, and a chance for Carlisle to get two points on the board early on. I'm sure they'll go for goal. The ball's been handed to number 1, Willie Richardson. He's a prolific goal kicker for the Border Raiders, and he usually puts them over from this sort of distance, although having said that, it was a very boggy pitch this afternoon. Well, Steve, a bit of an inauspicious start really for Widnes.
Yeah. That's one of the things that Tony Wilder would have said to them before the match. Don't give this Willie Richardson a chance to kick goals from this range, because he is a deadly kicker, if not in the Botica class, but you know, he can certainly put them over. So you don't want to put yourself on the back foot in a cup tie by giving away penalties in your own quarter. Yes,
Fano Richardson, as he's called up in these parts. And as we speak, the rain is lashing down once again, right straight to the Widnes players' faces. It's a very strong wind blowing straight down from left to right as we look at the pitch. Willie Richardson now teeing himself up for this kick. And he's drifted it to the side of the post, so it's still 0-0, but a Widnes drop out on the 25. I think it'll be Carl Hammond to get things underway. He'll be putting boots to ball very shortly, if we can find the ball. Yet again, there's a ball lost. It's gone over the concrete wall to the right of the ground. Very poor organisation here from Carlisle. We can't get a ball available. As we speak, one appears from the far side of the pitch, and as I said before, Carl Hammond now to get the game underway. He drops out there, keeps a low skidder in the mud. Carlisle back in possession with number 1, Willie Richardson. 3 Widnes tacklers there. Sorry, 2 Widnes tacklers bring them to ground. The crowd is shouting for offside, but I think they were all onside there, Steve.
I think what's noticeable in the first few minutes is that the referee isn't playing the new rule on the holding down and the tackle. I think on both sides have got away with more holding down than you would expect, given the recent clampdown.
Very much so, of course. Director of refereeing, Greg McCallum, has made several directives since he's been involved in our game, one of which, as Steve says there, is the holding down and the play the ball. And the other one, of course, is giving a full 10 yards at the play the ball, so that both sides have plenty of room in which to move it. Last tackle now signalled by the referee. Carl Hammond puts in the kick to the corner. And he finds touch about 10 yards out from the Carlisle line. There's a good chance here, Steve, for Widnes to put a bit of pressure on.
Yeah, obviously you'll expect Carlisle to come up with the ball from this scrum, but it's noticeable, as Chris says, the way Carl Hammond's keeping the ball down on his kicks so that it won't be caught in the wind. But Carlisle coming away, hand you back to Chris.
Thank you, Steve. Widnes tackling now just on the Carlisle 25. Imperative now to get a really good set of 6 just deep in the Carlisle half. Carlisle, really, they shouldn't have too much to offer, too much of trouble. A Widnes side okay at the bottom of the league in the First Division, but they are obviously a First Division outfit, and Carlisle are down there struggling towards the foot of the Second Division. But the fans here giving them plenty of vocal support. Referee Connolly making sure Widnes are kept very well onside there. Andy Collier puts in another one of those superb tackles, which he does for 80 minutes in every game. And a deep kick there from Carlisle scrum half. Number 7, John Lowe. Gary Broadbent, this young Widnes fullback, he's come from academy through to Alliance. He's in the first team this season. He's having a really good time so far, Steve.
Yeah, well, that was a good kick and chase from Carlisle, and they pinned Widnes back. Widnes forwards only now getting in position to bring the ball away. And the ball's gone loose. What will the referee say? Play on. No, he's noticed it, and he's given a knock on. A bad mistake, Chris.
A sad error for Widnes there. The touch judge on this side of the field spotted it. He signalled knock on to referee Bob Connolly, and Bob couldn't wait there. He gave the knock on. So it's head and feet now to Carlisle. A scrum on the Widnes 25. What can Carlisle muster from this attack, I wonder?
Yeah, well, you could see that they had the blindside move work there. John Devereux had noticed his opposing centre come to the open side, but Carlisle switched the ball quickly, but fortunately Widnes were able to cover it. Carlisle playing the ball now. Is this Woodell? Well, I think it was Woodell, and I think he's dropped it anyway. Closo bringing it away. Andy Collier struggles but brought down. Darren Wright, acting halfback, giving Steve McCurry a break from his usual duties there. And a good drive from Darren Wright. McCurry now, what will he do? Brings it to the blind side. Adrian Hadley. And Adrian Hadley takes a high shot, but In the meantime, referee Connolly spotted a Carlisle man offside in the middle of the field.
Yes, it was that former Arsenal coach, number 11, George Graham. He was caught offside there by referee Mr. Connolly. Widnes putting the ball just on the halfway line. Can Widnes settle down now and just try and get some period of possession in the Carlisle half? So far, it's all really been in their own half where they've had the ball. As we speak, Craig making drives in. Craig, a very big lad. He's not really been quite as impressive in the last sort of half of the season. But he's an excellent player. Steve McCurry now. He tries to take it in. He gives it out to Coloto. Coloto looks around, but there's no one in support. John Devereux signals out to the left-hand side. David Hume out to Carl Hammond. Now Carl Hammond weaves some magic. He gives us a dangerous pass there. But he takes one back. There's Hammond on the dummy. Hammond just brings himself down there, just deep into the Carlisle half. Darren Wright. Darren Wright goes out to Broadbent. Broadbent to Dave Hume. Dave Hume tries to bring Devereux in, but Devereux's got the slips, I'm afraid. John Devereux finding it very difficult to acclimatise to this thick clinging mud, Steve.
Yes, but I think what Widnes have to concentrate on here is not over-elaborating. A first division team against a lower second division team, you would think that as long as they do things simple, put the pressure on, the tries should come. They don't want to get too fancy and try too many fancy moves, especially in these conditions. They've got to play it simple and the points should come. A good chance now for Widnes to pin Carlisle back in their own quarter, but John Devereux bringing his opposite number down. Again, Carlisle keeping it tight to the ruck. Waddell brings it away, but the Widnes defence have the measure of him. Referee Connolly keeping a close eye on the line, and the first penalty of the day for holding down.
Yes, as you said, Steve, Widnes have no need to make it overcomplicated, and certainly no need to start giving away penalties, because it's just going to hand the advantage back over to the home side. I think it was number 11, and Andy Collier involved there in the holding down, and Lee Hansen. I think he may well have been the player involved. Anyway, Carlisle get the game back underway. It's on the halfway line. Once again, we're struggling for a ball. I don't think really Widnes particularly relishing this trip, especially in view of the current league situation. They're much more keen to get a few points in the bag in the league. Nevertheless, big prize at the end of this long trail. Obviously, the Twin Towers of Wembley. So, who knows? It may be our year. Carlisle. Hugh Waddell, a man of great experience, former rugby union star, of course. Hugh Waddell from the Sheffield area. And number 13 there, Gary Charlton makes the bust. Plenty of support here for Carlisle. Widnes looking to be on their sort of back foot just as we speak. A possible nice shot there for Widnes, but nonetheless it's number 7, John Lowe. John Lowe takes the ball in. Game on, as you would say to John, I think, Steve.
I think that was a perfectly fair shot from Lee Hansen on the Carlisle player there, and Carlisle forced to kick and Widnes bringing it away. Hadley playing the ball to Broadbent. Peter Smith coming in from his wing to help the forwards out. Let's see what he can do. Not really conditions suited to a quick man like Peter Smith, but McCurry to David Hume. David Hume onto his brother Paul. A good drive. Again, close to halfway. Making in support here of McCurry. Oh, and a beautiful ball from Making, gets Devereux away. And this is a sight that Widnes fans have missed for a long time. Devereux. Last tackle coming up. What will Widnes bring here? And this looks like another penalty for holding down. Is it? It is. And Widnes going to have to decide whether to take a shot at goal or keep the pressure up with a kick to touch. And it looks as if they're going to put the ball to touch. And the kick going backwards there to make a bit more room for a set piece. And again, the problem with getting another ball onto the field. One comes from the near side here. It's like buses, Chris. I mean, you don't get one for 10 minutes and then a couple come together. Hansen taking the ball up now. Another strong drive from the Tongan. David Hume directing operations. Making another drive. They're not breaking tackles, but they're making ground. McCurry blindside. See, oh, was Coloso tackled without the ball though? Well, play on, and Devereux with the chance. Devereux with the chance, he scored.
Yes, indeed, that's John Devereux in for his comeback try. A superb bit of pressure there from Widnes. I think it was mostly Coloso who flung the ball out, and Widnes centre John Devereux picked it up. He was too strong and too quick for the covering defence, and he strode his way right over the line for a superb try for Widnes.
Yeah, I think it's noticeable, Chris, that this is Devereux's first game for 12 months, but he's looked sharp. Obviously, he's been keeping himself fit, and he finished that try well. Widnes break on top, 4 points to 0, and a satisfactory first quarter of an hour, I think. We're going to have perhaps another delay here as they try to tee the ball up in the mud and with a strong wind, but Carlisle restart the game, going to put it deep. And this time Paul Hume managed to avoid kicking it into touch, brings the ball away, but met by some strong defence. McCurry acting halfback, brings on Coloso. Coloso looking for the runner on his shoulder, but there's no one there, and he's brought down. McCurry again to David Hume. Andy Collier. Again, good defence. Hadley takes the ball up. Kicks out of a tackle. Good run from Adrian Hadley. Late in the tackle count. Hume to Coloso. Coloso again looking for the runner. Almost there, but just brought down. 6th tackle. Hammond again with the low kick, skidding kick, well fielded by the Carlisle wingman, number 5, Paul Manning.
Yes, indeed, a bit difficult already, Steve, to identify some of these players in the thick clinging mud. Widnes, of course, playing in their away kit the first time for quite a while. I think Doncaster away was the only previous time so far this season. But certainly Carlisle put up a spirited performance so far. Widnes have just got to stick to the basics, knock them down, not do anything silly, and hopefully in the second half Carlisle should tire and give our more experienced and faster players a chance to move. But there Carlisle trying to get the ball away to the winger, Barry Nubley. Unfortunately Barry knocks on there, and it's a scrum down, head and ball to Widnes.
Yes, particularly difficult to identify the Carlisle players, I think. But David Hume to feed the ball, scrum on the halfway line, so chance for Widnes to exert some pressure. Ball doesn't come out cleanly, referee Connolly doesn't like it, and we're going to have to go through that again. Put the ball in the middle, says somebody from the crowd, but been a bit optimistic these days, I think. Hume to Hammond, but the defence is quickly onto him. Darren Rice acting halfback. A good drive from Wright, the gap opened there for him for a moment, but quickly closed down. Hadley coming in from his wing again to help his forwards. Widnes looking for a quick play of the ball, but they can't get it. David Hume. The gap's there, he's through. Has he got the support? And the Collier's there on his shoulder. And a try, a good try. David Hume, a typical break. The gap opened up, he side through it, went to the outside, looked as if he might have run his cover run his support out of it, but Andy Collier was there on his shoulder, the inside pass, and he had enough momentum to take him over the line.
Yes, Steve, a superb move there from Dave Hume, just like the old days there. As you say, he took the ball about sort of 30-odd yards out, dummied again, kept on going. I thought for a minute he might make it all the way to the line himself, but Andy Collier popped up on his right-hand side. He offloaded to the big second-row man, and he certainly had no trouble in splashing over the line. Excellent try for Widnes. Hopefully that will calm down any early nerves which they may have had. And a superb try there for Andy Collier. As we say, that hopefully that will calm some of Widnes' early nerves, settle things down, and maybe we can start playing a little bit of football. Very difficult though in these conditions. Got the conversion coming up now from Adrian Hadley. He slots the ball between the uprights, and that's Widnes 10, Carlisle 0. Good start, Steve.
Yeah, Andy Colley's not a player that you associate with try scoring, but he works hard, he's got a big heart, and he was on hand there to finish that move. So 10 points to 0. Again, Widnes have to be really satisfied with this start. It's as much as they could have hoped for, really. Seem to remember Widnes coming here in the Lancashire Cup tie about 3 or 4 years ago with the stars of the likes of Davis and Moriarty and these players, and struggling a bit. So yeah, entirely satisfactory, this outcome for Widnes at this stage.
Still playing into a gale force win, Widnes, as Paul Hume tries to bring the ball away. Widnes now look a bit more eager, look keen for the fight. Andy Collier, try scorer, drives the ball in. Widnes still stuck in the half, but they're certainly making some good yards. David Hume. Oh, but a sad mistake there from our Tongan prop, Lee Hansen. Gives Carlisle the advantage. Can Carlisle press it home now?
Willie Richardson taking the ball in, and it's hooker Danny Russell coming away. Feeds the ball to his substitute, who seemed to be through the gap, but the referee's notice on offside, so it's going to be perhaps another chance for a go at goal. And it looks as if they're opting to try for the 2-pointer. Some dissension from the supporters, who think that it might be best advised to put it into touch and go for the try, but Willie Richardson's going to have another go for goal.
Yes, Steve, a slight amount of irony there. Widnes pinged for offside, and certainly Carlisle have not exactly been getting back to the referee when Widnes have had the ball, but still, nevertheless, it's a chance for a shot at goal for Carlisle. No doubt it'll be number 1, Willie Richardson, once again, to try and put the ball over the bar. No black dot, as Steve pointed out earlier. Very unusual, that, Steve, at rugby league ground, for there to be no black dot on the crossbar, but never mind. I've seen some very interesting crossbars in my time. The Wakefield crossbar, of course, was sponsored, famously. But nevertheless, Willie Richardson trying to get Carlisle off the mark. Takes a long time to try and put the ball up. But he does so, the flags go up, and it's 2 points to Carlisle. Well, Steve, a bad mistake there from Widnes, do you think, or was the referee being a little bit over-anxious?
I think the referee was perhaps a bit keen there, but to be fair, Carlisle looked to have a decent chance of making an opening, so perhaps 2 points is better than 6. But going back to the question of crossbars, whatever happened to the Station Road crossbar? That's what we want to know, made famous by Mick Adams in 1982, but we digress. Yeah. It went to an amateur rugby league club, says our cameraman, Eccles, so now you know. George Armstrong, George Graham bringing the ball away. Hooker Russell feeds the ball out, but again, the Widnes defence is keen. But what they don't want is any indiscretions around the play of the ball, because the referee's already shown that he's quite keen for the offsides. He's given 1 or 2 holding down penalties after a slow start. And Tony Singleton looks as if he's coming on. Who's gone off?
It's Mosi Coloso for Widnes. Looks to be limping a little bit there, Steve. A bad sign for Widnes, especially with the very important Stones British Championship game against Workington coming up in midweek.
Not the sort of conditions that favour a man who's had injury problems and has missed a couple of games recently, I think, with a knee problem. So perhaps no surprise to see Mosi taking an early departure. Singleton makes his presence felt immediately with a good driving run in midfield. McCurry looking for his runners. Makin takes the ball on, but hits a brick wall of Carlisle players. McCurry again to Paul Hume. Brought down by the shot. Almost bundled into touch, but keeps in the field of play. McCurry to Hammond. David Hume, can he work his magic again? A good kick to the corner. The chasers are there. Is he onside? Will the referee decide? The Carlisle player takes no chance. Kicks the ball dead, and referee Connolly decides that the Widnes man was onside, and Carlisle will have to restart under the post.
Yes, Steve, good sensible play there from Widnes, putting the ball deep into the Carlisle half. Even if Carlisle come up with the ball, then they've got to work their way all the way back up the pitch to try and get over Widnes' line. So Widnes now settling in the driving seat, 10 points to 2 ahead. A bit of a poor drop out there from Carlisle, though having said that, it's a skidder. And Carlisle's chase was very, very quick. I think it was John Devereux there who fielded the ball for Widnes. What can Widnes do now? Can they press home this disadvantage and try and get a little bit more in front? It's already becoming very difficult to identify even some of the Widnes players now because of this very heavy mud clinging to the numbers on the back of the shirts, but we'll do our best to keep you on normal service. And it's number 14, Anthony Singleton, our Australian capture early in the season from Barrow. He spent a bit of time on the subs bench just in the last few weeks, but now he's getting his chance to impress anyway. Widnes now just on the Carlisle 25, trying to work a move. Carl Hammond there moves round to the right. Will he put the ball up or will it go down the line? David Hume is to his right, so we're feeling it may well go down the line. And there you go, he kicks it. Well, never mind. And Carlisle gathered the ball, trying to break up field. Well gathered there by Gary Broadbent. Steve.
I think that was a Carlisle hooker, Russell, who stopped that kick and brought it away. But whoever it was a nice piece of play. Get them on side, the crowd shouts, typically for a home crowd. But perhaps Widnes are just too quickly up for the home support. Ooh, a big hit there from Hansen over the top. Knocks the player onto his back. Hadley under the high bomb, takes it well. Not easy in these windy conditions with a slippy ball, but caught that well, no problems, and made good ground on the return. Paul Hume, I think it is, taking the ball down the blind side on the far side from us. The touch judge has spotted something in the tackle. Which way is the penalty going to go? I think it was a Carlisle number 4, Colin Paxton, who was involved. And the way the touch judge is gesturing, it looks as if the penalty might be going Widnes' way. For rubbing his face in the dirt.
Yeah, a bit of a facial there, similar to the one Sonny Nicholl dished out to Henry Paul yesterday in that superb game Wigan against St Helens. Nevertheless, here we are, Carlisle v Widnes, and it's Craig Makin. He drives the ball in, trying to make some ground, but he's well policed. Once again, I've said police, but never mind. He's well tackled there by the Carlisle defence. Lee Hansen, he drives the ball in. Widnes really just trying to keep it simple, not trying to do anything too airy-fairy.
I think what was noticeable there as Makin took the ball in a couple of drives ago was that John Devereux was right there on his shoulder, but waiting for the slip pass. And again, this is something that Widnes have perhaps been missing, that they've not had the men with the pace and the vision to get there. David Hume driving, takes a short pass from McCurry, goes over in the corner. Excellent try from Widnes, and they're easing away now, and this is looking very good, Chris.
Yes, Steve, that was a superb ball there from Widnes' England hooker, Steve McCurry. He slipped the ball to his left to Dave Hume, and Dave Hume had too much pace for the defence, and he went in for about 10 or 15 yards. Widnes now going 14-2.
Yeah. So that conversion from Hadley once again fell foul of this strong wind, so the score Widnes 14, Carlisle 2. And as Chris was saying a moment or two ago, we were here a few years ago watching Widnes at Carlisle, and I think that was in a Lancashire Cup tie, if memory serves, and that was August, September, and the weather was a little bit different from this. And I don't think we saw any juggling acts quite like that, with the ball like a bar of soap. Paul Hume throws it away in disgust. So it's going to be the Carlisle scrum half, John Lowe to feed, again in another good position, 25 yards out. Carlisle will be looking for a try to peg back this comfortable Widnes lead at the moment. Bring the ball to the right, loose forward Gary Charlton, son of the the Carlisle coach Paul Charlton. Russell looks for his runner, but Hugh Waddell drops the ball. Again, you can't really blame him in these conditions. It's not the easiest of handling days. McCurry acting halfback. Makin had to check his run there because McCurry wasn't quite ready to offload. Makin's going to take it from acting halfback. John Devereux, what can he do? Comes to the open side, directs his runners, but in the end elects to take the tackle himself. Darren Rice at acting halfback looks to be going to the blind side, but takes the ball in himself on the open side. 6 tackles, so Carl Hammond will be looking to put a low skidding kick in here, and he does, and it's a good one in the conditions. Sends Richardson scurrying back, and he brings the ball away. Hammond can't make the tackle, but he's brought down by Paul Hume. Russell brings his forwards onto the ball. George Graham. Hanson with the tackle along with Singleton. Bit of crossing there, but the referee decides that the Widnes players weren't obstructed. Carlisle makes some valuable ground. Ball's going over to the far side. Widnes look to have the defence, and a short ball move didn't quite come off for Carlisle, but they still have the advantage. Willie Richardson, that was a forward pass, but a nice move from Carlisle.
Yeah, it just shows you what the Cumbrians can do when they get a chance. When it's just sitting back there, letting Carlisle do a bit of running. The last pass was outrageously forward to the scrum half, but nevertheless, it was an excellent move from Carlisle. Just giving Widnes a bit of a jolt there, reminding them that the game is not yet over. Dave Hume comes away from the scrum. He feeds Carl Hammond. What can Hammond do? Almost clear of a tackle, but he's just brought down at the last there. Gary Broadbent, Widnes full-back, they're acting half-back. And he's lost the ball. As Steve said, very, very slippery ball at the moment. The pitch is cutting up, it's very, very muddy. Very unsafe underfoot, and the ball covered in mud. Carlisle now. It's the Carlisle centre, number 3, Edwin Quayle. He's away. But he coughs the ball up to Widnes as Craig Makin comes back into the game. Makin not very happy there at the attentions of one or two of the Carlisle forwards. But nevertheless, Widnes coming on now. It's the Widnes' other prop, Lee Hansen. Lee Hansen there, just tackled just short of the halfway line. Steve McCurry trying to get things going again. Widnes keep it in the forwards. It's number 11 and Andy Collier. Andy Collier tackled, he made about 5 yards there. Steve McCurry once again, he's really at the heart of things so far for Widnes. Dave Hume pops the ball out to Carl Hammond. Carl Hammond's got some very silky ball skills if he can get the ball away. He releases John Devereux. John Devereux moves the ball back inside. I think that's Paul Hume, not quite sure there. Adrian Hadley, in fact, is the last tackle. Referee Colony puts up his arm. What will Widnes do? Will they go for a drop or kick it into the corner? McCurry slices the kick into the corner, and Carlisle cover there just managed to put the ball dead. Widnes, though, certainly putting Carlisle under quite a bit of pressure, Steve.
Yes, and as we said before, in these conditions you want to keep things simple, keep the pressure on, and with the ball as slippery and the ground as muddy as it is today, a simple kick like that of McCurry's causes all sorts of problems for the defence, and Widnes can, if they keep that sort of thing up, can count on getting possession 9 times out of 10. Here's Paul Hume, fields the drop out, looks for Devereux. Devereux's looking very sharp, and it takes 4 or 5 Carlisle defenders to bring him down. This is Andy Collier bringing the ball away. Sets up the position for McCurry perhaps to put on a move. Hanson driving into the post. Again, 3 or 4 Carlisle defenders combined to stop him. McCurry looked to be dropping the ball inside but didn't, went on his own, now feeds Singleton. Singleton tries to dance through the defence but is brought down. Hammond, what can he do? Weaves around the defence, and again perhaps a bit of over elaboration. Referee rules that the ball went forward and another chance goes begging.
Yeah, quite right, Steve. Widnes trying to get too excited there, trying to do too much with the ball. On this sort of a day, you can't be taking risks with fancy reverse passes and that sort of thing. Basic, simple rugby is what's required. Must be remembered as well that Widnes playing into a gale force wind this half. They'll obviously have the benefit of that wind in the second half. I think they start putting a few more long, deep kicks in via Gary Broadbent or Carl Hammond, and I'm sure Carlisle will struggle to get back into the Widnes half. It's significant, though, Steve, that Anthony Singleton's been on the field for about 10 minutes and he's already caked in mud, and you can't see him for muck, as they say.
Yeah, well, again, Singleton is a wholehearted player. He doesn't shirk his responsibilities, and he takes the ball in like a good one, and you know, he's a 100% player. Again, another mistake. Can Peter Smith make anything of it? Takes the ball down the middle. Not frightened to take on the forwards, Peter Smith. That's why he's so popular with the Widnes supporters. A big man, but a small man who's prepared to take on the big men. McCurry takes the ball down the middle, causing all sorts of problems for the Carlisle defence at the moment, as you would expect from an international class player. Eventually gets to play the ball. Hammond drops the ball inside to downright. The defence opens up for him, but Richardson manages to bring him down with a bit of help from a colleague. Is this Singleton at the acting half-back? Out to Hammond again. Again, another jinking run from him. Doesn't quite get to the line. David Hume drops the ball inside. Ball again comes loose, I think, from Devereux. Hammond drops the ball inside to Hadley. And that try seems to be in slow motion, but it was well worked nonetheless. Adrian Hadley drops over the line for a welcome try.
Yes, indeed. Quite a number of players standing around, sort of not quite knowing what was going to go on there. Eventually, the ball popped inside to Adrian Hadley, and he rushed over there from about 5 yards out. A good time to score for Widnes, just about 2 minutes to go before the half-time break. For Widnes, obviously total command at the moment. Yeah, well, the conversion there from Adrian Hadley, he sailed wide. Yet another victim of this gale force wind. But very impressive start from Widnes there. A little bit of altercation just before the kick-off. Not quite sure what happened there. Steve McCurry, I think, may have had a bit of mud in his eyes. Something, was it, Steve, do you think?
I'm not quite sure. I think the referee may have seen Steve McCurry and the Carlisle player involved with something off the ball, and perhaps he was just taking the opportunity to calm that situation down, but Singleton bringing the ball away. Not easy to see who the Widnes runner there was. Perhaps Collier. No, because this is Collier. Yeah. McCurry acting half-back's going to bring it this way for his runners. Lee Hansen always ready to take the ball up. McCurry goes to the blind side, checks inside, but downright was a bit close to him for the intended pass. Singleton hands a man off, does well. Can he find Devereux? He does. Devereux finds Peter Smith. Peter Smith's got a running chance now. He's still going. Superb play from Peter Smith. Can he beat the last man? He does, and a superb try. Absolutely fantastic try. Singleton handing men off in midfield. Did well to find Devereux on his outside. Devereux didn't hang on for the ball for too long. Just created the gap, drew the last man on the Carlisle cover, fed Peter Smith, who did well to evade the remainder of the Carlisle defence, and an excellent try in the corner. And that's just the sort of try that Peter Smith needs to get his confidence, because he's obviously got the talent, but he doesn't always look as if he has the belief in himself. But a try like that will do him no end of good.
And he certainly pushed off his opposite number as he whizzed down the wing. Hadley tries to convert, but he's no chance. And a half-time score there. That's Widnes 18, Carlisle 2. Totaling 22 points to 2. Widnes come out for this second half, resplendent in their new jerseys. Unfortunately, Paul Hume's got no number on his back, but never mind, I'm sure we'll cope without that. Widnes now, as I say, 22 points to 2 ahead, looking to press home the advantage with a very strong wind behind them. Widnes kick off, and it's a knock. No, perhaps not a knock on. Trapped by his knees. Hugh Adele, I think they're taking the ball in. Can Widnes keep Carlisle now pinned down in their own half, and then come up with the ball and try and create something of their own? Good tackle there from Paul Hume and Lee Hansen. Referee Connolly making sure that Widnes are kept 10 yards back from the play of the ball, as Carlisle try to move the ball out to the left-hand side. Steve McCurry and Anthony Singleton both effecting tackles. Singleton covered in mud already, and that's the first time he's been involved in the play. Very, very heavy conditions here at Guildford Park. Obviously, we've had torrential rain and snow in the last couple of weeks up here, but Widnes coping very well with the conditions regardless. Carlisle now, the hooker. He puts the ball in for a kick just into the Widnes half, so Widnes will, I'm sure, come up with the ball now with this scrum and head. Well, Steve, what do you think for the second half?
Right, well, I think Hadley did the right thing there in not trying to field that kick. I think he thought it was going out on the full, but it just landed in play. But he did the right thing in not getting the touch and giving away the head and ball at the scrum. But I think in general terms, Widnes will be very satisfied with a 22 points to 2 score at half-time in these conditions. And with the strong wind behind them, I think, again, if they keep things simple, put the ball deep into Carlisle territory, I think we can be sure that Carlisle are going to come up with the errors and Widnes are going to be able to capitalise, and might be tempting fate, but we could be looking at 50 points here, who knows. Gary Broadbent now from acting half-back feeds David Hume to Devereux, who's looked very dangerous, but the Carlisle defence managed to cope with him this time. David Hume from acting half-back to Brother Paul. Drives in. Broadbent again at acting half-back. Hammond dinks the ball into the corner. Just reaches touch, and a fine kick from Hammond. Notice that Steve McCurry's not taken the acting half-back position at a few other play the balls there. Whether he's carrying a knock or whether the other players are just giving him a rest, we'll see. It's going to be the Carlisle scrum half, John Lowe, to feed the ball. Deep in their own territory, and a long way to go to the Widnes line. Winger comes in, right winger, Barry Quayle, but no problems with the Widnes defence. Carlisle, apart from one or two exceptions anyway, Carlisle haven't really troubled the Widnes defence. It's only the penalties that have allowed Carlisle to make any progress up the field. Good ball there from George Graham. Another nice ball inside from the scrum half, Russell. Paxton feeds the ball out through the hands of Lowe to number 10, Hugh Waddell. Scrum half Lowe gives way to the hooker, acting half-back. The ball goes wide, goes through the hands, looks to go backwards. Yes, the referee agrees. And the ball went loose there. It definitely went backwards at first, but I think as a Carlisle player tried to regather, he pulled the ball towards him, and I think that was a knock-on, and I think the touch judge gave that decision, and I think it was a good decision, Chris.
Yes, as we've said so many times this afternoon, the ball is very, very slippery, and once again the touch judge he came to the aid of referee Connolly, but Widnes now come up with the ball from the scrum. Trying to move the ball out. John Devereux takes it on the reverse pass. He barges into the opposition, but he's well tackled. Gets the ball out to Dave Hume. Dave Hume sets the free Adrian Hadley. Adrian Hadley looking for a bit of work, comes in off his wing. He's tackled there by a couple of Carlisle defenders. Steve McCurry now back in his usual position, at acting halfback. He sets away David Hume. David Hume puts his brother Paul in, but Paul once again is well tackled. Craig Makin now on the short ball. Widnes trying to keep the play short, as he recommended all day. The ball comes loose. Referee Connolly looks to the touch judge. Craig Makin claims the ball was stolen, but the touch judge says no, he just lost the ball. So Carlisle come up with it once again. Important here for Carlisle to try and steady things down, stop Widnes from scoring early on, and getting the advantage. They've got a small but very vocal support here at Guildford Park. And Carlisle there making good ground. Unfortunately, Carlisle didn't change their shirts at half-time, so it's a bit tricky just to see who's who at the moment. But that was Lee Hansen making a good tackle. Carlisle dropped the ball, and Craig Makin came up with it.
Yeah, did well to pick it up off his bootlaces, Craig Makin, and the chance for Widnes to come away once again. Gary Broadbent from acting half-back. The gap opens but closes almost as quickly. And he's pushed back there at the acting half-back, but at the play of the ball, but referee Connolly decides that it's no penalty. Devereux skips out of the tackle, gets some momentum going, but is well brought down by a good tackle. Hadley takes the ball on from his Welsh colleague. Again, he breaks a tackle, but recovers there. Hammond gives way to McCurry out in half-back. McCurry comes this way, feeds the ball to Makin. Again, takes another hard shot. The line in Makin up and putting the hits on him. McCurry chips on the ball, hits a Carlisle player. McCurry does well to regallop to bring the Carlisle winger down. It's number 4, Colin Paxton, who takes the ball in, takes a big hit from Hansen, and is unceremoniously dumped to the ground. The referee doesn't like it though. Perhaps Hansen held on a little bit too long. And again, this is, although Carlisle have made one or two nice breaks down the middle of the field, they're making most ground from Widnes penalties. And playing against the wind, they decide to take the tap, and Paul Hume's alive to it and brings him down with the help of Hansen.
Thanks, Steve. That was a bit of lax play from Widnes. They were too busy looking around at the touch line, seeing what was going on, to see that Carlisle had in fact tapped the ball and not kicked it into touch. Gave Carlisle a bit of an advantage there, and they made about 10 or 15 metres. Still, it's Carlisle in possession, as we say. Second tackle coming up. They're trying to drive the ball in. Hugh Waddell takes the ball in. But he's tackled well there by Singleton and Hansen. Singleton certainly does more than his fair share of work for a slightly built man. Carlisle putting the kick. It's trapped by Peter Smith, but I think Carlisle may well have come up with it. Yes, referee Connolly signals 6 more to Carlisle, and good kick there from Carlisle, Steve.
Yeah, I think Peter Smith was perhaps ill-advised to try and trap the ball like that in these conditions. It perhaps would have been better letting the ball settle and trying to pick the ball up, but no matter, it's Carlisle bringing the ball away. Hugh Waddell again with that trademark one-handed scoop out of the tackle, puts a colleague in towards the post, and some real pressure perhaps for the first time for Carlisle. Can they find a way over in the corner? Darren Wright has a firm grip on his opponent. Take it to the blind side, the chip. The winger looks as if he might be offside, but Broadbent regathers anyway, but doesn't manage to keep the ball, and dribbles into touch, and again Carlisle pressure, a feed 10 yards out, and a chance for them to do something.
Well, it was a nice kick there, I think, from the Carlisle scrum half, and Gary Broadbent did gather the ball, but he slid over into touch as he gathered the ball. Good play from Carlisle. They've got Widnes under a bit of pressure now, which is to see just what they can produce. They're trying to keep it very close to the play of the ball, very short passes, and I'm sure Widnes will swallow those sort of plays up, but it depends if they can open up a little bit wider. So Hugh Waddell there, driving in, takes 4 Widnes players to bring him down. But I don't think he's played the ball quite right there. What will referee Connolly give? And I'm not too sure, Steve. What do you see there?
He's given a penalty for holding down. Well, didn't look as if Waddell was too interested in playing the ball there, but the penalty's been given. And this is the controversial aspect of this new clampdown. That half the time it's the player with the ball who's at fault, but usually seems to be the defenders who are penalised. Couple of knock-ons there, one each way, and it looks as if the ball's going to go to Widnes. Hugh Waddell, will be best remembered for perhaps his role in that third test at Sydney in 1988, when he helped Great Britain to a historic win over Australia. He's known as a teetotaler, but he's described as having a tea belly, which is perhaps unusual in the game of rugby league, but he never touches a drop of alcohol is the word. But David Hume now sets John Devereux away. John Devereux brought down in his tracks. A penalty again for holding down. Mr. Connolly a lot more keen in the second half than he was at the start of the first half on that particular rule, Chris.
Yes, indeed. He seems to be picking and choosing which rules he gives and which ones he doesn't. Just going back to the Hugh Waddell there, Steve. You may well call Hugh Waddell a tea belly, but I certainly not in his hearing anyway. Referee Connolly's cards went flying down the field there.
Yeah, it's not often you see a player give a referee a yellow card, Chris.
Very true. Players wanting to get play back on the way. Referee Connolly's got himself sorted out, and it's Lee Hansen now as he's driving into the Carlisle defence. Important now for Widnes to reassert their authority on the game and try and get a move on here and cross the line if they can. McCurry offloads a nice little short inside ball to Paul Hume. Paul Hume plays the ball quickly. McCurry out to Devereux. Devereux steps inside. Can he make the line? He puts in Paul Hume. Paul Hume galloping. Looks for the support. No one there. McCurry scrambles the ball out. David Hume now. I'm sure there's a try back in here. Peter Smith. Can he get it too? But he's bungled into touch there by a superb rear guard action. I think Mr. George there pushed him into touch. Peter Smith, he sniffed his second try of the afternoon, but he was just pushed out there by the Carlisle defence. So it's a scrum now on the 10-yard line. Carlisle head and ball. Carlisle come up with the ball, of course. It's a long way to the Widnes line from down here. Hopefully Widnes can pin them here for the six tackles and keep the pressure on. Lee Hansen, a one-man sort of, as Ray French would say, a Cumbrian throw, pushes him onto the deck. John Devereux, he's looked Very sharp this afternoon. Good tackle there from Devs. He's very keen to get back into the thick of things. He's had his problems, of course, as Devs, but today he's really trying to show what he can do on the pitch. Referee Connolly very keen to keep Widnes on side. Wasn't quite as keen to make sure that Carlisle stayed there. But Carlisle are no mean sign. They're trying to throw the ball about a little bit now. Great testimony to Carlisle's efforts, because it's very, very slippy. The pitch is a sea of mud. Referee Connolly penalises David Hume for some interference with the play of the ball, and out comes the yellow card, I think, Steve. Could be a sin binning here.
Yes, I'm sure it is going to be a sin binning, Chris, and Mr. Connolly takes his muddy yellow card from his pocket, and David Hume goes to the sin bin. And to be fair, I think David Hume did hold on a bit too long there. You could see that his fellow Widnes tackler let go of the Carlisle player. David Hume hung on for just those few extra seconds, and quite rightly Mr. Connolly a sin binning. But I think this is a thing that players have to get used to now, especially with a 22 points to 2 lead. That really that they've no need to get involved in that sort of thing. That you know, that I suppose it's easy for us to say here, but even in the heat of the battle, that they should have a bit more football nous about them than give those away. But it's had the effect of giving Carlisle the extra man and also possession in the Widnes 25, and they're looking to use the extra man with an overlap. But once again, the ball goes to ground, and Darren Wright gratefully falls on it.
I think, Steve, it's made it all the more difficult for players when the referee isn't consistent. He has allowed quite a bit of lying on to play the ball, as we said early in the first half, and now all of a sudden he comes up, he's not allowing it, and he puts David Hume in the sin bin. I think perhaps David did have a word to say as he ran back. He seemed to run back very, very quickly, as if he'd given a bit of advice to referee Connolly. Anyway, not to worry, he's only off for another about 7 or 8 minutes. Craig Macon now takes the ball up. Widnes, as I say, very keen to get the scoring act back on the road. No score since the half-time break, and really Carlisle have probably had the majority of play. Carl Hammond, he misses the ball there to Collier, but once again the ball goes loose. Widnes really struggling at the moment to try and get some sort of rhythm. They were really very dominant just before the half-time break. But they've just struggled a bit to sort of find their feet in this clinging mud. Anyway, not to worry, I'm sure things will come right. As we speak, it's a scrum here to Carlisle. Carlisle head and feed. Referee Connolly makes sure Widnes are back 10 yards yet again. The ball comes up short, and Dave Hume pins him to the ground. Carlisle showing plenty of spirit, but Singleton there puts in another good tackle. The crowd there didn't like the reaction, but it was a good tackle by Singleton. A nicely slipped ball there by Carlisle, but once again it's gone loose. The game's very, very scrappy at the moment, Steve.
It is. I think that was Hugh Adele once again. He always seems to try to get the ball out of the tackle, but we'll see which way the decision goes. Yeah, it's gone to Widnes, but it looked as if it might have been a Widnes knock-on. Singleton's gone to scrum half in the absence of David Hume, fires a low ball out to Hammond, who finds Devereux in turn, but he's well spotted by his opposing centre. Hadley now is going to take the ball in. But he's stranded in midfield, couldn't find a runner and couldn't find anywhere to run himself. So now it's Hansen, skips out of one tackle. Still going forward, takes the ball up to midway inside the Carlisle half. McCurry avoids a Carlisle player to get the ball out. Now it's Paul Hume, I think, on the far side, well covered. I think the trick for Widnes now, though, is not to be too complicated, to keep the pressure on, to keep Carlisle penned back, and they will make mistakes. And if Widnes have enough possession in the Carlisle 25, they will score tries. Darren Wright, Singleton, directing operations again in the absence of Hume, but that's a poor kick. It wasn't really deep enough for Peter Smith to do anything. The Carlisle winger, number 5, Paul Manning, seems to drop the ball, but the referee rules as it went backwards. And a spirited run here. I think that was Willie Richardson, the fullback. And Carlisle once again bringing the ball up. Hint of a forward pass, but no, it went backwards. Russell from acting half-back decides not to drop the ball off to his runner, comes inside and finds a man on his left-hand side. Quite impressive, this Carlisle hooker. Actually, is a bit of a live wire and keeping the Widnes defence on the toes, Chris.
Very much so, yes. It's becoming very, very difficult to identify the players. Several players harassed the touch judge there, and I think it's George Graham there, is it, Steve? Who's having a word with the touch judge. He wasn't very happy with that one at all. But anyway, never mind. It's a scrum down to Widnes. As I was trying to say before, it's getting very difficult to identify the Carlisle players. In particular, they're covered in mud now, and the numbers are completely obliterated. A little bit of untoward comment from the crowd here, but never mind. It's Darren Wright. He streaks up the middle of the field. He's beat two defenders there. He's dragged down just on the Widnes 25-yard line. Gary Broadbent out to Singleton. Singleton on to Steve McCurry. Steve McCurry on to Adrian Hadley, who comes off the wing. Not quite sure what Adrian's doing over here, but never mind. He just loves to be involved. Singleton now trying to direct some operations in the centre of the pitch. Hammond puts in the kick. Widnes centre, Dan Wright picks it up. A little bit of a scramble there. Widnes fortunate. Yeah, I think you're right there, Steve. It did touch a Carlisle player. Should have been 6 more, but Hammond's trying to go all the way on his own. Gary Broadbent now, I think he sees the line beckoning, but he moves the ball out to the right. Singleton once again a kick, but it was an easy kick there, well fielded by Carlisle. Stopped, I think, once again by George Graham. Graham chapped it with his foot and picked it up. Forward pass there from Graham. Referee Connolly chooses to ignore that one. A pass off the floor there, this time to Craig Makin. Widnes are back in it now. There's a comedy of errors there as Steve McCurry tries to straighten up play. Singleton takes the ball in. He won't see conditions too much like this back in his Australian days. But obviously playing with Barrow, he's probably used to all this in mud and snow and sleet and... Widnes now trying to put a move on just in front of the Carlisle sticks. It's Carl Hammond. Can he weave a bit of magic? He's stretching for the line. Hammond stretches over, but the defence have just pulled him back. Bit of obstruction there, but by Carlisle in back play on Paul Hume. Paul Hume, he's eager to get on with the game. Carlisle there with a mile offside, but never mind. Steve McCurry tries to kick. Once again, it's fielded by it's blocked by Carlisle, but it's 6 more to Widnes. 6 more tackles. Can Widnes convert this pressure into something more tangible? Andy Collier searches for his second try, but he's hauled down just a little bit short. And it's a dive over. Steve McCurry, I think it is, Steve. Steve McCurry dives in from the play of the ball there, and it is a try to Widnes.
Not the most spectacular of tries, Chris, but you have to say that the way Carlisle have been allowed to lie up offside, that was all that was open to the Widnes players, and McCurry is renowned for these close-range tries, and he puts another 4 points on the board, and perhaps this will get the Widnes scoring machine back into its groove.
I think Hugh Waddell is coming over to the sideline, so T-Belly. Not sure whether he's coming off or whether he's just come to get some mud out of his eyes, but as I say that, Adrian Hadley has slotted over the conversion. That brings a score. That brings a score now to Widnes. And that's got the Widnes scoring machine ticking over again for this half, hopefully. And now I'm sure we'll see Widnes try and take somewhat more control in this half. They've struggled a little bit, trying to be a bit over elaborate and trying to do too much with the ball. Carlisle have been very spirited, their heads haven't dropped. They've given Widnes just as much as they've got in the second half, but I'm sure as the half goes on now, Widnes is a superior pace and class will tell. Andy Collier there, he gives everything for the full 80 minutes, Andy Collier. McCurry there spins it out to Hansen. Hansen's a little bit quiet, but this time he offloads to Darren Wright. And Darren Wright stupidly tries to offload to his winger. There was never a pass on there, but never mind. Anyway, I'm sure, Steve, that Widnes will come back now with a few more scores in this half.
Yeah, I think with Darren Wright there, it's one of those situations that if he gets a pass away, and I think it was Devereux on his shoulder that had gone screaming down the wing, or perhaps it was Hadley, then we'd be saying, well, you know, what a great pass, and
conditions are affecting the game,
perhaps applauding a great try.
I mean, what are you going, Rick?
But it didn't quite come off, and Carlisle come up with the ball again. Carlisle's substitution, number 14, replaces a mud-spattered player who will try and identify for you.
I'd like to say a few more words on behalf of Stuart Nubley.
Not sure that wasn't the scrum half low, but we'll clarify that for you if we can. One thing that you can say for Carlisle is that they've tried hard, they've played a bit of good football, but they've not resorted to any thug tactics, which sometimes you get with when you're playing a lower division side. You know, sometimes they try a bit too hard. But it's been a very clean game, if you can say as much in these muddy conditions. And
Plus my side's laughing there, Steve. That's very good.
yes, thank you. And we've now been informed that it was the Carlisle standoff who's been substituted. That's Glenn Day. And again, another comedy of errors in the middle of the field. And it's going to be a Carlisle put-in. And John Lowe to put the ball in. Doesn't come out cleanly, but he managed to make some ground down the open side. The hooker, Russell, feeds his forwards. Takes the ball on again. It's Paxton trying to find a way down the left wing. Doesn't look like getting through and almost gets bundled into touch. A long ball back in field to George Graham. I think a former Scottish Rugby Union player. Again, it's Russell from acting halfback. Drops the ball off. There's a hint of a blocker there. Could have been obstruction, but the referee says no. And Russell again, sending the ball to the right. Widnes having difficulty knocking the ball carrier down, but having said that, Carlisle don't look like breaking the defence. Russell, the ball to the corner. Devereux, who seems to have swapped places with Hadley, has he? Controls the ball well, and it's Broadbent who takes the ball from halfback. Skips out of a tackle, clears his line well. David Hume back from the sin bin, brings Makin onto the ball. Again, another good driving run, and Widnes within sight of the halfway line already. John Devereux puts the ball out to Darren Wright, but well tackled. McCurry with the ball to David Hume. Collier, is it? Oh, Paul Hume, who brings the ball to the halfway line, drops the ball back to Hammond. With the wind behind him, he's able to drop the ball into the corner and an inch perfect kick. And this is what Widnes have got to do. This is all they've got to do, really. Put the ball into the corner, put Carlisle on the back foot, and wait for them to make mistakes.
Yeah, you're quite right there, Steve. As we speak, a substitution for Widnes. Number 15, Davey Wayne, is coming on, and he's going to replace number 10, Lee Hansen. Lee's had a very strong game today, but very, very difficult conditions for a big man in such clinging mud. It must be very, very strength-sapping. Obviously, in the coming week, we're going to be relying very much on Lee's strength and power in the games to come up against Workington and Sheffield. Davey Wayne's slotted into the second row. Andy Collier's moved up to prop. So Widnes have Carlisle exactly where we want them now, deep in their own half. Can we keep them here for 6 tackles? Carlisle still trying very hard. Their forward pack have not given up the ghost at all. George Graham is a bit of a ungainly shape for a modern day rugby league forward, but he certainly he's a very spirited player. He's had an excellent game this afternoon. Carlisle looking to move the ball out to the left. Well tackled there by Collier, Hadley and Carl Hammond. Widnes just watching for what's going to happen here now. Davey Wayne tackles, and the contrast between Davey Wayne's nice clean white jersey to everybody else's is very stark at the moment. But Carlisle put the kick in, but not Gary Broadbent. Can't quite see. I think it's John Devereux there on the wing. He's dropped back and fielded the kick nicely for Widnes. Gary Broadbent now, he takes the ball up. What an excellent introduction he's had into the top flight for Widnes this season. Obviously due to the unfortunate injury to Stuart Spruce. Gary Broadbent, as I said before, he's come through Academy and Alliance and straight into the first team, and he certainly hasn't let anyone down. One of a brace of youngsters which Widnes have in both the Academy and the Alliance sides at the moment. Still a bit sloppy, but Widnes can't seem to gain much good possession. The ball's bouncing around like a bit of a game of basketball at the moment. Both sides coughing the ball up with regular monotony. Singleton out to Whiffer. It's Peter Smith. Smith eludes the tackle, but he's well tackled there in centre field. Widnes forwards hanging back a little bit now. They're not too keen to get involved. Dave Hume had never had a chance of taking the ball there from Carl Hammond. I think Widnes have settled now by the looks of it, just for the lead that they've got. They're going to have what they hold and try and save some of their strength for the forthcoming battles ahead.
3 times
Singleton
a
certainly has been
lady.
very impressive since he's come on. He's a tireless workhorse, of Singleton, both with the ball and in defence. Once again there, Singleton down for the tackle. As if to prove what I was saying. And the Carlisle spectators are getting a bit boisterous behind me now. They're singing and trying to support their side. George Graham takes the ball up. He's very low to the ground, is George, and Widnes are really struggling to sort of pull him down. A very fiery character. What will Carlisle do now? Will they try and put the ball down the field? Widnes certainly have stopped moving up in a line, giving Carlisle plenty of space and plenty of time to run at them. But it's all a bit slow at the moment, really. Both sides wishing, I think, to go and get a nice hot bath. In fact, so am I. In fact, so is Steve. In fact, so is Andy, our cameraman. Although not, hasten to add, in the same one.
We'll have to find a big bath, Chris.
Steady on, Steve. People have been talking about us. Anyway, there we are. Put me off slightly there, but anyway, Widnes are coming with the ball. I think I better hand back to Steve or something. I've run out of steam.
Yeah. Chris is getting a little bit too excited there. Darren Wright taking the ball in. McCurry with the play the ball, and Makin now with the drive. Widnes playing it steady. Not trying too much on this set of 6 anyway. David Duane, what can he do? Stumbles in the mud. Brought down. McCurry injects a bit of urgency. Oh, that was a high tackle. Peter Smith's a durable sort of player, but there aren't many who can take a shot like that and get up quickly. Referee stops the clock while he gets treatment, but he was poleaxed. It looks, to be fair, it looks as if it might have been a reaction from a Carlisle player as Peter Smith stepped inside him, but then again, we've seen people sent off for less, Chris.
Most definitely, Steve, yeah. I think it was a sort of a reflex action. He stuck his arm out, but he definitely smacked him around the chops, and he should have walked. I can't believe the referee Colin let him off with that one. I think it would have been David Hume or one of the other sort of Widnes players. You know, things might have been a bit different, but I know I'm a bit biased, but still, he should definitely walk for that one, in my opinion. Poor old Peter. Never mind, he's a tough lad. He's back up, and I'm sure he'll carry on and come all the stronger. Referee Connolly just having a few words now with the Carlisle players. Obviously, he's not going to send anyone off. But nevertheless, it'll be a penalty to Widnes, and Carl Hammond stands ready to bang the ball into touch and set off another Widnes attack. The Widnes fans on the far side not very happy there, Steve.
They're not, Chris. And I think this is one of the things that frustrates spectators, that you can't use a sin bin for foul play of that type. You can use it for technical offences, and we see players sin bin for holding down in the tackle. But a man takes a bad high tackle like that, and the only penalty is the kick to touch. So I think it's a controversial one, and perhaps something for the rule makers to look at. But back to the game, and making a powerful drive down the middle. Looks for support, but couldn't get the ball to Singleton. McCurry at acting halfback's going to take the ball to his left. David Hume with the drive. Drops the ball off to brother Paul. Found the shout for a forward pass, but it looked okay to me. Going to be McCurry again from acting halfback. David Hume goes to the blind side, but that was a poor attempt at a pass, it has to be said. And Carlisle come away with the ball, and the Widnes player given off. Oh, thought it was offside, but no, it's for a swinging arm in the tackle. Carlisle going to get a chance to clear the line with a kick to touch. Down to our right, the ball boys are retrieving the ball from behind the stand. So
No ball boys, Steve.
Oh well. Some local scally has got a nice souvenir of the day, a mitre match ball. Carlisle bringing the ball away just over the own 25, but the Widnes defence quickly into them. And a good tackle there by Paul Hume. Russell brings the ball from acting half-back. I think this is George Graham. George Graham again. A poor pass, but well held. But a good flying tackle there from Adrian Hadley. Brings down number 4, Paxton. Hadley again in with, along with Carl Hammond, to stop that drive from Carlisle. This time it's Steve McCurry who's in with the tackle along with Collier. 6th tackle. Watch the kicker, goes a shout, I think, from David Hume, but he manages to get away and makes good ground, but Widnes won't be too unhappy with that. They'll get possession 15 yards or so from the halfway line and a chance to build another attack.
Yes, indeed, Steve. Widnes letting off the hook again there. Nice to see the Widnes faithful over there. A couple of coach loads will come up all the way, all the way up here in the Reliant Robin, as I'm just been told. But yes, I've seen a couple of coaches and there's quite a few cars come up. So Widnes obviously not enjoying the best of fortunes in the league at the moment, but still there are a few people still wanting to come up here and support the lads. Still, it's number 11, George Graham. What a superb game he's had this afternoon. Carlisle now trying to produce a try, which I think they deserve on the balance of play this afternoon. Would only be justice for them to come up with 4 points. Widnes really this second half have not really sparked into action as we'd hoped after that superb first half display. Carlisle whizzing the ball out to the left now. No idea who that is. And the ball's... Anyway, whoever it is, he's offloaded to someone else and he's now driving up for the posts. No one's number now is legible on the Carlisle side. What will Carlisle do now? Will they put the kick up or will they put the kick into the corner? And it goes into the corner. Widnes trying to cover. Whiffer-Smith collects, but he's tackled well behind his own line by the Carlisle chasers. It'll be a drop out under the post for Widnes.
A nice kick to the corner from Russell Lee, Carlisle hooker, but you have to say that the Carlisle winger looked to get there very quickly, so either he's got the pace of Martin Nafire or he was offside. Leave you to decide. I think this is Russell again who feels a low dropout, looks for his runner. George Graham once again in on everything. Singleton again with another good tackle. He's got a great technique. He gets low and knocks him down. David Duane in there as well. Carlisle bringing the ball to the blind side. Singleton again in on the tackle. He's playing at second row at the moment, is Singleton, and he's putting in a second row's tackling stint, it has to be said. Carlisle trying manfully, but a bit devoid of ideas, really. That shouldn't be 6 tackles again. The Widnes player didn't play the ball, it just ricocheted off his leg, and that's a bad decision by Mr. Connolly. But I suppose when you come away in the cup to a place like this and you're 28 points to 2 up, you've got to expect a few decisions to go against you. Ball was knocked on there, referees spotted it, and it's going to be a Widnes feed to the scrum.
Yeah, you're quite right there, Steve. When you do come away to these sort of places, quite often referees tend to give the benefit of the doubt to the home side. Certainly Widnes got the just reward there with Carlisle coming up with the knock on. Well, the ground announcer there has just announced the official man of the match. That's Widnes number 9, Steve McCurry. He didn't seem too happy about it. He's made his feelings known, which I think is a particularly unprofessional thing to do, but nevertheless, he's done it. Anyway, over to you again, Steve.
You'd never catch the announcer at the Widnes ground making that sort of comment, would you, Chris?
Very true. Well, I've heard he's a good lad, actually. Professionalism is the word he's never heard of, but never mind. It's Carl Hammond. He puts the kick in deep into the Carlisle half, looking for the touch there, or just down into the corner. He's turned the Carlisle fullback, Willie Richardson, and a good Widnes chase there, and they've taken him on the 10-yard line. Now then, can Widnes get the ball back here and try and get over the line once again, because it's getting a bit cold up here, and I'm glad I've got my fingerless mittens on, because if I hadn't had to, I'd certainly be complaining. Anyway, Carlisle now taking the ball up. The ball's punched out, I think, there, perhaps by Widnes. Referee Connolly says no, it's just play on. Carlisle thought that the ball had come loose in some other way, but never mind, they're playing on now. Good defence there by John Deverell. Devs has certainly looked very keen this afternoon. Very good to see him back at his two. Carlisle now trying to offload the ball in silly positions, but they've got a line out. They've got an overlap, 2-to-1 if they can move it out. There goes the ball, but it's gone loose. And I think it's Adrian Hadley there has dived on the loose ball. What can Widnes do now? David Ruane. Spyro, as they call him, I believe. There he goes, but yes, he's ever decreasing circles, but he's tackled, never mind. Anthony Singleton out to David Hume. David Hume, which is the ball to the left. Steve McCurry, excellent short ball to Carl Hammond, possibly forward there, but the referee didn't spot it, never mind. I think it's a good try there to Carl Hammond. Well earned by Widnes. Steve McCurry showing all his form there. He delayed the pass, slipped a lovely short ball. Hammond went in from about 10 or 15 yards out, and Carlisle couldn't lay a hand on him. Do you think it was a forward pass there, Steve?
Yes, to be honest. It's sometimes hard to tell with these short passes, but it certainly looked marginal. But I think George Graham or delayed pass Danny Russell on the Carlisle side have played well, but yeah, Steve McCurry, a good value for his man of the match, I think. And Hadley puts over his third goal of the game, which on a day when it's not really ideal conditions for goal kickers, isn't a bad return. So Widnes stretch the lead to 34 points to 2, and even if they're not going to get the 50 points which we mentioned at the half-time break, certainly a very, very comfortable margin, and a good reward for a trip up to the far north.
Well, yes, a very satisfactory performance for Widnes. It appears as though no one's been injured, which was the main thing. We've got through the game unscathed. Kalota went off early on. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but certainly very satisfying for Widnes, and it'll make that trip back home all the more pleasant, because it's not been often this season that Widnes will come up with the goods and actually won a match. And hopefully that will change from now on, and we'll go on to greater things from here. Scrum down there, I think, Steve.
Yeah, I was just going to say that when we were winning in the Regal Trophy, it seemed to be good for the confidence of the players, and you know, hopefully this win, even though it's against very modest opposition, it has to be said, hopefully they'll be able to translate this confidence into the two key relegation battles that we've got Wednesday against Workington and next Sunday against Sheffield.
Yeah, let's hope so, Steve. I think, as you rightly say, you know, confidence is the key thing. As in any walk of life, confidence is what it's all about, and or so she told me anyway. But yes, confidence is what it's all about, and I'm sure Widnes now will go from strength to strength, and it's just a sort of fillip that they need for the forthcoming battles on Wednesday and on Sunday. I just hope the Widnes side on Wednesday is not too badly weakened by some shocking England call-ups, which I believe we've had. Due to the St Wiggins semi-final replay, there are in fact going to be quite a few Widnes players playing for England. So that'll be nice to see, although not so good for us on the Wednesday.
Yes, I don't think we're quite up to the semi-final yet, Chris, but this isn't the second semi-final of the Silk Cup Challenge Cup, unfortunately. But Darren Wright bringing the ball away, and well tackled in a mud bath in midfield there. Oh, Carl Hammond again does well to get the ball away to David Hume, supporting well as usual, but to be fair to David Hume there, it must be difficult to tell which of the Widnes players and which of the Carlisle players in support, such as the mud-spattered condition of all the players involved. Here's Hammond again, another weaving run, gets the ball away to Ruane to Darren Wright, straightens it up well, a nice kick. This could be a try to Widnes, is it? It is. Let's see who got on top of that. Looked like it might have been Adrian Hadley, but we'll soon see. Craig Macon turning up in the right centre position, perhaps having a bit of a rest, and injured himself in the process, unfortunately. Let's hope this isn't too serious with those league games that we mentioned, but he certainly did well to get on the end of that kick from Darren Wright.
Yeah, I think another 2 points. No problem. Straight over the white crossbar, and there goes the full-time hooter, and that brings the final score to Widnes 40, Carlisle 2. Excellent performance.